Afternoon, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. Welcome to a vodcast. This is the, I believe, round of 8 last chance qualifier. This is the top 4 runners, and joining me today as a special guest, one of the runners, Fellison. How are you today?
Hello. Well, I'm doing pretty good, and I'm looking forward to seeing how everyone tackled this seed. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, what do we have today?
Well, first, as all LCQs before this, I'm pretty sure this is yet another black belt seed. So first, black belt red mage, and some pretty interesting blessings. Most notably, these two mages. The red mage has heal plus magic, so guaranteed to have some heal magic, unlike some red mages. And this black mage, everyone is picking them because telemagic.
Because
That's good.
telemagic, so exit and warp right off the bat. I have to say that Black Belt is my least favorite melee, and Red Mage is my least favorite mage, so I probably would have done very badly.
Yeah, for the other blessings, fighter resists status, lightning, and death, so some relatively relevant stuff in there. Thief has hurt and dead, and black belt has thief swords, and the white mage, which we don't see anyone picking, has promo fighter armor.
Indeed. So, in a little bit here, they'll be off. And again, this is a vodcast, so this has happened in the past. Wall, level 1. And Brack, lock 2. Saber could be useful later if somebody picks up a fighter.
And Ice One is an excellent single target damage spell if you have no other good options for that. Well, even if you have other good options, it's still worth picking up in my opinion.
I'll get that timer going. And sync everybody up here.
I see the recruit is a thief, and some people, including Changen, are picking that.
I would imagine the thief would be pretty tempting. Easy running at the beginning.
Yeah, though in this flag set with the scaling and the vanilla scripts, among other things, the ninja has been a relatively inconsistent carry photo offer. So picking a thief at this point is making you commit to either that or black belt instead of the more consistent knight.
Yeah.
Well, the black belt is very consistent in offer. It's everything before that. That's the issue.
Now you've been running some 3 warrior groups here. Were you thinking that right off the bat here?
In this case, yes.
Yeah.
And in fact, the black belt goes down right now, gets punched to the ground by Garland, booping the ground instead of booping stuff later on, and will rarely ever be standing up from now on. So, our rewards from the King and Princess are the Ruby and the Cube. The Ruby does not get to be relevant yet, but the Cube, this is the quarterfinals flag set. We can just walk to Sky right now.
Yeah, so very early, you'll notice here that the normal bridge is missing, and that's because the bridge has been moved over to the normal Peninsula of Power, and gives us a bridge to the Lithenian continent. And from there you can walk to the Mirage Tower. And we also have shuffled the chime block, so you could probably go Sky immediately.
Anyway, some huge stuff in level 2 magic, like that white shop had Fade, Life 2, and Exit. So, I mean, Exit is a bit redundant with the Black Mage already there. You just need Life 2 to revive that if he goes down.
As long as the
But Fade is
yeah.
Fade is currently our best offense on the whole team.
Indeed. And I'm gonna imagine that the red mage will become sort of a white mage equivalent plus occasional sword for the most part, unless we find some really good black magic.
I mean, just the potential to have those ever so important attack buffs, fast in tapper, is
Fasting.
still giving the red mage a unique identity of a white mage at this point. Sorry.
Okay, so it looks like we got TNT, and rather than do the sky play at these levels, turning in TNT could make some sense.
Yes, I misremembered what I was doing. So yeah, looks like everyone is going straight for the TNT. It makes sense because just one initiative alone is not enough to massively open things up unless it's the canoe. So might as well just go with the easier TNT first before you commit to the skydive.
Yeah.
In this case, it's the crown that Chengen gets from Narek.
And there's the telemagic coming in handy right away. See what Astos has in a moment.
And I see that Freitith has gone for the play of checking the Meteor chests early on. That makes sense because with Marsh being out of the usual progression in this flag set, you kind of struggle with getting your early money and stuff, and the chests you get from there and from Toph can make a massive difference. Oh hey, these wizards have damage poison. It gives them another shot because it's just a matter of getting first turn on that fade.
Yeah, and when they have damage poison, chances are they have more in that script. So, yep, there's Ice 2.
Also, Astos ended up having the power bank, so that's not progression. Chengen is checking Fland. I missed the first couple levels, but I do notice fast at level 4. And I believe there was some pretty good stuff at level 3, but I don't remember exactly. And the item shop has the floater.
Yeah, that would be useful if we had our ship. We do have airboat on. Floater in the store is really fun to find. We don't have the money for it right now, and we can't use it, so we're going to have to walk.
Yeah, I noticed that Chengen could get some of that by selling Opal Bank, but that was nowhere near enough to get those 20k required.
We saw gold bracelets in Elfland also, so those might become relevant.
Anyway, as for the parties, I see that Chengen went with the thief. Everyone else, myself included, went with the fighter instead, committing to that carry. And one thing that should be pointed out about this three-man fighter, red mage, black mage, is that you're stuck with only one life caster in this team. Well, in this case, the red mage has a couple more casts of it than they would otherwise, thanks to that blessing. But it's still one major vulnerability in that offer where you are just one Kraken Punch away from being stuck with just whoever survives from that point onward.
Yeah, with early life there, probably fighter is okay. I might have held out for the thief if I didn't have an early life cast, just because on promotion we have ninja casting white magic.
Now I noticed that, well, we could all deduce from everything we've seen so far that the progression is in Sky. Well, I personally skipped Elfland at first, so I really should have known that there could have been something in that shop, but I just went straight there after the crown turn-in. And I didn't see anything of note on floor 1, just maybe one shot at most, I don't remember for sure. Chengen is checking the magic in Elephane.
So we have Lithanian Superstore on, and we also have a tavern here in Lithane. Once in a while you'll see a runner check to see what's recruitable. But since we've already done our recruits, it's not going to be relevant. But I would imagine in the last few rounds here that with early access to Lithane, we might be checking recruits there. If you're used to the vanilla map, there are a lot of overworld edits here. So as I mentioned before, you can get to Mirage and Sky. You can also walk to Gaia. And this is going to mean that the seeds can roll really, really interesting walking around kinds of routing. So imagine walking to Gaia to turn in the bottle, and then that gives you the ruby to get progression at Sarda. That kind of thing can happen a lot. We also have River to Melmondon, which gives you access to the Melmond continent once you get the canoe. Really wide open map, lots of walking, lots of routing, lots of overworld manipulation, and really the best runners are here, and we've made it both interesting and hard.
So for all of our runners who are either in the Mirage or approaching it, in the case of McLean, the sky can be a very scary place when you are at very low levels, so everyone is just taking some encounters in some place on the way to level up. Like I saw McLean fighting a troll and zombie encounter somewhere around the Fane to get to that early experience and maybe the budget for some of that magic. Meanwhile, I went with checking all 4 quadrants of the desert, despite the first encounter being relatively slow, and then taking a couple encounters on the first 2 floors on Mirage before committing to the full dive. In my case, I ended up having a bad encounter somewhere on the way out and getting down to just the fighter alive, so I'm taking a trip to Gaia to refuel.
Wishing there were some houses there.
Yep, capping out my 10 stack. That's probably the first and only time I'll ever do that in my rando career. Anyway, Chengen is probably more interesting to talk about right now, given that he is in Sky 1.
Mm-hmm.
The right room has just money and experience, which it's still early in the game. Those are extremely valuable. The Manticore pack is usually very juicy, but Chengen does opt for not taking that because you want to save those early spell slots for the whatever you find in shard boxes. You cannot afford to take every single encounter you take for a walking grind.
Yeah, since we know that progression is here, we're going to need to find the marked box, and there might be several marked boxes here. We need to look at with shards, and there are some dangerous enemies here at these levels. Saw Katana. Rolled vanilla.
Chengen has checked the whole left half of Sky 2 on the way down, not found any shards yet. CC's Gambit, still no shards. Here Helmet, which is usually just sold for money. To answer a question in chat, the Thief Sword's Blessing only gives whatever sword the thief would wield, so promotion does not give you ninja weapons.
Correct. And, usually, since we value the black belt for the punches, the thief weapons would only be used to get a grind started. If you found the rune sword, for instance, that could be useful. And there's our ship, so we can start sailing around.
And Schengen found that in the only marked box in the six-pack, which had a pretty good chimera, which just straight up one-shot his black belt, and with that, he's out.
Yeah, there's that telemagic again. It's the other reason you probably don't want to take too many encounters in Sky at that point. You need to keep your exit caster alive.
Well, the red mage has life, you really just need to keep one of the two mages alive to be able to make it
Sure.
out. And
Sure.
yeah, that telemagic is the whole reason any of us were probably even, well, at least we weren't too mad about having to do Sky this early, because we only need to take half the walk. We have our workout almost guaranteed to be safe this way. Well, not fully guaranteed.
Warp at level 5. And there's that rune sword. In greater than, less than. Or I guess less than, greater than, whatever we like to call it.
Now, Chanigan knows that at this point you just need to dash straight back to Elfland by that flutter, and you are in the air. The city is wide open. From that point, you've got the ruby to turn in, and a lot of free incentives, like the stages in Crescent Lake.
And if you did happen to pick up the 31k gold box in Sky, you've got the money available for picking up that floater. You do have a few things to sell, probably. If you found the katana and didn't take a thief, you can sell that. But I think most of you found that 31k. Floater, question in chat, Chanigan's picking it up right here. It's in the shop. And houses are not too expensive here, so good opportunity to load up on houses. Ship was in Sky, in the 6-pack.
And Chanigan had some money left over to buy some gold bracelets for the two mages, which add a decent bit of safety to the rest of the run. And with that, he is in the air at 1555.
Not bad. So now the whole world is open except for anything you need a canoe for.
Now, that's what I like to call the double bunk. First you land on the ancient style, then you find out that it is the chime lock for this seed.
So Sarda is a usual immediate check if you get early floater, but game has jokes. Sarda is blocked by the chime. Titan's Trove is incentivized, and the key is there.
Not always an important component of game mode, but for everyone who is in Chanigan, that will be required, since we have no way to get lockpicking from a thief. So yeah. Chanigan goes straight to Cornelia Treasury to turn that in. Meanwhile, an update on Sky. I'm on the 6-pack, and Maclean is on their way there also, so that's two runners about to get their ship. Oh, apparently I did stick around a little bit for more stuff from Sky before wrapping out. I didn't remember that. Okay.
Yeah, definitely not taking Tia there.
And Chanigan finds the canoe. It's a bit less powerful when you already have the airship, but it's still access to Odys and Waterfall later on. And now it's time for the volcano. Now, volcano is usually in these flags the first place you go, at least dungeon-wise, and ends up being a bit scary because And you would therefore end up being a bit low on spell charges and on probably not have the way to deal with a carry at the end. Though in this case you do have the rune swords from earlier, which can come into play. And
Yeah,
well,
you've already
you're
been
in
in
your
Sky, so at that point you're all grizzled veterans.
that's right.
Yeah. One of our runners, Chanigan, is in chat saying his goal was getting in the air ASAP. That's not a bad strategy. I'm looking forward to at least some of the seeds in the last few rounds being almost floaterless, though. Really want to see some walking around.
Right. Also, do not have full memory of the seed, but one thing that did come to mind when I saw myself in the superstore there is that Temper was nowhere to be seen in there, so that means it's somewhere in Gaia, so either level 7 or 8. The level 8 is not as big of a deal this seed as it would seem, because that means it's gonna share its start with telemagic, so it comes with 2 free casts whenever you don't care about telemagic, which includes Topher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that power bonk is going to see a lot of work at the end there. Mecklin is in chat also. Welcome, everybody.
Now Schengen is done with the army floor, it's done now onto the Akame floor.
Looks like you are going to check some free checks here. Crescent is open. You'll see what the sages have. What's your thinking there versus going to something like Volcano and getting that out of the way?
Well, I know I'm going to Lake at one point anyway, so it's just part of my early game checks. I then move on to the Nilmid continent to get Nasada and Titans, or well, in this case, just Titans. This is just a quick roundup of everything I usually would have had before the airship in a more usual seed.
Sarda says, ring the doorbell!
He's even more of an hermit than usual. I'm now imagining him as one of these Zelda 1 NPCs that charge you for breaking their door.
That's right. By the way, huge shout out to our tracker, Razor1, tracking this solo. Not an easy thing to do. As always, our trackers are MVPs, so many, many thanks to Razor.
And now, Schengen makes a fun discovery. First, the incentive is on the carry floor, and second, the Agametal has mud goals and sorcerers. Fun times.
We have vanilla touch effects here. Those sorcerers can one-shot death anybody.
And it's an especially scary encounter if you do not have a thief to have a good shot of running away and having someone in start 1 who's less likely to be hit by the sorceress.
Aha, Dark Moon.
You might notice that this describes 3 other runners here. And our reward from Volcano was the chime. Time to give a grumpy old man a visit.
Razor1, one of our trackers, is pointing out that Dark Moon is also helping, so thank you, Dark Moon. Dark Moon is our restreamer. Did I mention we got Oxy Ale from the Sages? If
Well,
not,
no,
we
you
got
did.
Oxy Ale from the Sages. Like to point out fans of FFR that we have some new icons in our tracker now, thanks to Dark Moon. Now, how many shards did we need for this?
I believe it rolled pretty low at 25.
Okay, so shards are shards. Is the shard count not set?
Yes,
now?
for quarter and semifinals, the shard count will be random from 24 to 32. So that's the current evolution in the shard count. And fun fact, the finals flag set has one difference with the semis, and that's just that the shard count will be set at 32. And 25 years are relatively low. That's just one more than what we needed in the earlier flag sets before. I think it was Ro8 that kicked it up to 28. So we probably won't need as many checks as usual. Shenigan turning in, has already translated the slab from Sarda and is now onto Lefane to translate it, and had a bit of a brain fart on where to park the airship. The bridge to Lefane does give us a much shorter way to check Lefane, thankfully, but it's probably not imprinted on everyone's muscle memory given how rare that flag is.
Yeah, I have found that tile is often hard to land on immediately, so I sometimes park just a little bit south and cross the bridge to give myself a bigger target.
And Shenigan is now on to Ordeers.
So we get the canal from slab. It's not something that we needed since we're already in the air.
This ship can already fly over the canal. So that's a rare instance of a warmth regardless of context. Now we are... It's just... this Mindus pack is giving us enough time to get some predictions for the pillar. I'm disqualified from participating.
Well, let's say vanilla 3.
Well, this Mindus pack saved us a bit more time than predicted because Ice 2 is mean. Oh, I see that Frighteeth is onto Cardia meanwhile, fighting some Red D's, which will be some juicy experience. And we do have Ice 3 somewhere in our magic, so they shouldn't take too much effort to take down. But they did apparently hit the party with some sweeper.
Maybe you and chat know, but I seem to remember Frighteeth being an avid black belt runner, but does not seem to be taking the black belt.
Yeah, I believe so. The black belt is pretty usually considered to be rather underwhelming in this flag set, though I'm one of these few people who believe in it, even though this is a seed where I didn't end up taking them. But right as I say that, I raised the black belt just to have one more body on the sorcerer tile, just in case. That's a big irrelevant because I get perfect turn order. Well, not perfect, but running before anything happens. Shenigan
Nice
has made it to the maze. Thankfully gets a first turn on those sorcerers, so no need to worry about that. Litwi and Fade just wipes them quite cleanly, though Litwi did not get a single kill. That's unusual. Next, Naive back.
Mummies. Yeah.
They do have a Sleep Touch, which can be a bit rude sometimes, but they are nowhere near as much of a threat. and that's the adamant. Tengen could exit right out, but does check for some more gear. I was about to say we did have a ribbon from earlier, and there's another one.
Yeah, 2 ribbons. Then translating her slab, something I always forget. Imagine Chanigan is checking grind tiles too. Looks pretty keen to keep up that black belt.
McLean running across a sandwich, except this is not the valuable kind of sandwich. That's just Grey Worm, relatively underwhelming. The only one in that enemy family that is that way. And the adamant turns into the cowbell, which is a loot.
There's going to be one tough cowbell coming from the smithy.
And Shengen also makes use of that strip to check on the Dwarven Armory. So a couple of cheap shots. So I do remember from the visit to Metoya that if we get a wizard from one of these boxes, they can be a bit funny / rude. Fratit is still on Cardia, and I have joined him. McLean opts not to run from the sorcerers and just throw sweepers at them for slightly more reliability, since running is not guaranteed when you don't have a thief. Well, it's not guaranteed with a thief either, but it's extremely reliable. McLean telling us in chat that they died to them on the first dive, so yeah, that would explain being cautious around them. It's hard to come a 4-player race.
So far, not many high-pressure coin flips, though. Despite the world being wide open, seems mostly just turning a few things in, looking around. No big dilemmas yet.
Right, it is on to, I believe that was the grass island of Cardia, which, with that gas detail, well, not tile, but chest, that will put its party on a pretty high level. Let me see. Oh yeah, 21 on every round. That means the spare charges on that night will take a bit of time to come up whenever we get the tail, but it does make us very comfy with whatever we would take on next, like C or something.
Mm-hmm.
Not C right away, because Fratit doesn't have the key yet to get that incentive.
Robot had the bottle. Not sure where he found it, but he did have it.
It fell down the waterfall. And with that, Fratit is onto the Melman continent to get almost full clear of that, though he does like the time to check Sada.
I was just imagining the robot by the window in Sky yelling, "You forgot your bottle!" Throwing it down.
Now I see that Chanigan went Kraken side first, so probably looking for a tie or something. That's a bit unusual when you don't have the power to reliably take down Kraken 1, so I'll see what he had in mind for that.
I would imagine, yeah, checking for shards and for a spike tile.
Well, he did not check the spike tile in the southeast room, so maybe that's not his plan, or maybe he's going to check it in the southwest room instead, or maybe just ignoring the shards because this is one of the more dangerous places to take a grind. A pack of water and some bad rolls for running away can pretty easily kill a black belt even after the grind.
Looks like our rod came from the dragons.
Right. And now Fright8 has had a relatively quick dive through Earth, and now in the armory is about to find... I really should wait a bit longer before I say this kind of thing. The encounter is taking the momentum out of me. The crystal! So, looking back on the overall progress of our runners, I will note that Chengen is in item go mode and only needs the shards and either some good gear for that thief or the grind on a black belt. But he's the only one who has checked generic. In fact, he's the only one who even has the adamant in the first place from... yeah, I think it was Ordius. Maclean is about to have that too.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And I guess looking for something to grind the black belt on or looking for the tail. We probably would rather have the katana. Welcome back to chat, Chanigan. Lich goes down. There's another 2 shards for Fright8.
So one thing we could really see in this series is just how this flag set, we are used to it being extremely linear, but opening up massively after the floater comes in. And in this case, having the floater at 15 minutes means that every runner is going pretty much wherever they want from that point. Now, the crystal
really
turns into
easy.
the herb.
Crystal turns into the herb. Yeah, the route divergence makes it really easy for our trackers.
And did Chenningen just brack Kraken? I believe that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because that fight went very quick and I did not have the time to comment on anything that happened. And the herb turns into the defense sword.
Not a bad thing to have, and even something that could be swung by the thief or the red mage or fighter if you couldn't find anything else.
So now with everything we've seen, I believe that leaves the Excal on the ferry.
Have we seen the tail yet?
Oh yeah, there's also the tail. What else am I forgetting? Oh right, there's also the mermaid's incentive that Chengen is now going for.
There it is.
Oh, and that I was also going for.
We have seen the tail. It is in Mermaids.
And it is about time to have that because with all the shard boxes we've thought, at this point we have pretty high levels across the party and we are rather antsy to start getting those spell charges. And Chengen pointing out that he was looking for the defense sword or root stick, which makes sense. Most of the incentive gear is either irrelevant to Black Belt here or overkill in the case of the power bank, but here the defense sword does make a bit of a difference because punching is actually one of the more dangerous things Chaos can do to a post-grind Black Belt.
Yeah. Bubbles does not have any Xboxes here, so looks like we might not carbonate Bubbles. But we will still pour one out for Hate the 13th.
Now, do we get an opportunity at some point to look at the shard counts? Everyone here menus so fast. It's pretty
Yes.
hard to catch a glimpse of that. I said that, but I did see that McLean is on 12 shots at this point and still has the many shots from this Cardia to get, and has the two northern bosses, as I like to shorten them, to go for 8 fairly easy shots. And will probably divert at some point.
Yeah.
Well, not right now without the rod, but that's a likely place to go after getting the rod from here. These bloodies are rather rude, as they usually are. They are such a step up in terms of tankiness and damage from all the other dragons. It can often take you off guard.
Shanigan deciding not to grind on the fun police.
I'm shocked.
Point out a couple of cool things in these flags. Since we have airboat on, we have really easy, quick access to ordeals. So normally that would be a walk, but you can just park right there and go straight in. And on Rat Continent also, you can park at the dock now that we have northern docks on.
Schengen parks to Toph, but no, don't worry, he's not in go mode yet, he's just checking the tab, and that's some red hydras. It's a shot. Encounters with many enemies like this are not the most efficient for a black belt grind, but our hydras are relatively decent, though they're also not that much per enemy, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, so we have B-side grind tiles on here, and a lot of those are 2 to 4 enemies, and getting that grind started can be a real pain, and just continuing it if they get lots of early turns in and spend a lot of time healing, it's not a great time.
But regardless of this style, this Toph dive did give Changan 2 pretty easy shots, which is a pretty big advantage that I doubt anyone else will go for. And now, much later than everyone else, Changan is checking Cardia.
Bright Teeth diving carry here for a couple of shards.
I think almost every runner will tell them that in this flag set, Cardia has been the almost #1 priority the moment they get the floater, but here we can see how that kind of changes when you've done almost nothing before the floater. And yes,
pointing out
as,
marked boxes in Cardia is great, mostly because you get some immediate XP fighting all these dragons.
absolutely.
The model here, and looking for, there's Nuke at level 7, so that's gonna push Temper to level 8.
Good old bad news shop.
Yeah, not really what you want to see. But the X-Cal is +5. That is not bad.
Oh yeah. That's almost the same stats as Vanilla Massa, with on top of that, the good old elemental bonus. And to answer Dark Moon, no, I did not kill Kraken yet.
Lap time. Well,
Oh
it doesn't
yeah.
hurt as much with that close, with a close parking spot, but
I did reset out of it anyway, which does mean I
Yeah,
did
it's
not
still
get to use
annoying.
this as my superstore visit for the night, but I think the only spells worth carrying about on the knight for this context when you already have the power bank are just fast and maybe luck, and those are, if I recall correctly, fast was an Elfland level 4, which is a bit of a slow walk from Elfland, and luck 2 was in level 1 if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And this Earth level 1 had 0 shots.
Yeah, fun. Mechlin on to C.
As well as tried it. We can see them almost in lockstep.
Yes, holding hands. We're gonna do this together, guys.
Beautiful encounter table.
Mm-hmm.
Encounter just before the stairs. Classic. The RNG decides that Freddy will be facing a lot more lobsters before getting that tail.
One of my least favorite enemies, the lobsters.
Understandable. At least they die fairly easy to either nuke or lead 3.
Yeah, at least they don't have a script this time, I think. Seen some thunder lobsters recently that not anybody's idea of fun. So, in these flags, the white magic has been surprisingly key in the Topher dive because we have vanilla scripts on. But we don't have anybody with a white wizard here, and Janigan is the only one who took the thief for that promo white magic. So we're a little bit worried about our dive, possibly.
Well, I do recall that the red mage has at least life 2 and heal 3 available.
Yeah.
Plus that heal plus blessing, which was life 1 and heal 3. Shengen pulls out the rod from Micardia. I do notice that he's down to the red mage and black belt, so probably looking to Dan and go for a grind sometime soon.
Yep. If you're just joining us, this is a vodcast of the Last Chance Qualifiers round of 8. The top 4 winners, top 4 runners of this will be rolled back into the main bracket for the tournament.
As he's pointing out in the chat, Shengen is missing exactly 2 shots, so I believe this is carry time. Is it?
Yeah, carry time.
Finds Ghost Tile, no thanks.
So, here's Mr. Bump, Mr. S Bump on your side there. I always appreciate that you use the funny enemy names.
Yeah, the moment I saw George, I just could not turn back from that. I love George, and every time I think that to myself, he ends up having a horrible script.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in these flags, we don't really have anybody taking Warmech. Warmech is patrolling, but not seeing a lot of Robot Chicken this time. Maybe next time. Simultaneous Kraken fights. and I'm thinking, looking forward to Topher. I'm wondering where to put my life caster so that Kraken does not immediately blow it up.
Pretty wrecks the Kraken.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it just Macklin that did that? Maybe both of them.
I think both of them. Every time I see that, I hear Lord Fizzlebeef barking into pizzas in my head.
Schengen does end up dealing with Qualifier easily. Sadly, I was looking away because, again, 4-player comes hard.
Mm-hmm.
And is now in go mode, just needs a little grind somewhere.
Just a little grind.
And does any good place come to mind? The only even half decent grind that was mentioned, but that, as I said, is maybe not as good as it sounds, is the... Oh, going for a tougher grind, maybe?
Maybe, yep, looks like. And that is tough because that, as you pointed out earlier, the first encounter off the hard reset comes pretty late.
I notice the red mage probably going down in this encounter unless Schengen opts to go with the heal. And so, just the black belt alone, is it enough to reliably grind on this row? Or maybe Schengen was just going for the Dan?
27 could get
Okay,
up to
yeah, Schengen is
32.
heading battle cut, then it was just a Dan.
Yeah. Again, though.
Oh no, Schengen is going back in. This was just a safety save once the party was danned.
Anybody new to FFR, when we say damned, that just means killing off a party member.
Yep, I believe the word comes from a fairly classic marathon run of Vanilla, where the runner had the thief down for most of the seed, but don't quote me on that, I didn't see the run myself. And the thief was named Dan, of course.
Of course. Found a worm. We love worms, but there was only the one.
And the third encounter is those pesky frost Ds.
Yeah. So this is what I was talking about before. Getting any hits in is tough, and looks like they are dodgy. Very evasive.
Yeah.
Not helpful. So
Schengen opts out of the Topher Grand after all and goes for those Hydras.
Yep. So, Fellison, you just walked past the Warmech. No thank you.
And I will note that I would probably not have encountered him if it weren't for my excellent path. See, I told you that it's good.
You did left up, right?
Right down, right. Every time. Every time.
I'd like to point out that left up, as an acronym spells Lulu, which is probably the second best 20th century opera.
I expected a bit less experience from that Hydra pack, but I did see a five-digit number from a single kill from Schengen, so not the best for a late game grind, especially one where every single fight is taking this long. But it could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse. They could be hitting harder.
Yeah, and that progressive scaling from all the shots has really kicked in at this point. I believe that it's a 150% boost with full... well, not full, because full shards would be 44, but nobody ever goes for 44 shards. No, Tengen is on 25 shards, which is about what I said.
All right, Mechlin has started their dive. Mechlin has bailed on their dive.
Must have noticed that they're out of potions or something,
Mm-hmm.
or at least low.
I don't know what it is about my brain, but I love watching grinds. A little bit like watching the like rug cleaning videos on YouTube or something late at night. So
There's a bit of that same pleasant feeling from, say, idle games or something. Seeing, oh hey, 800 damage! That's more than before.
Bright Teeth finds Adamant. Be happy to find the loot after that, and a nice ribbon. Okay,
I do
Mechlin
notice
back in.
that at this point I took my Elfland visit and made use of that to grab some gold bracelets for my mages. And now observant viewers might notice that I do not have the loot. Seriously, but me, what are you doing?
Don't need a loot. Bonk. Never a good feeling, but it's nearby.
Yeah, the reason I went to Elfland at this point was mostly to turn in the hub and then to do the shopping. I just forgot one step of it. And then I found out that the hub was not the loot. So yeah, at this point I've let both Mechlin and Ro8 handily pass me.
Mealworms!
Mealworms.
Hooray! Here's your loot, and Ro8 is running into the not-so-speed bump Lich 2 here.
And is Shanigan taking some warming counters to round out the grind or something? That is a much faster source of experience than those 4 Hydra's pack. But, well, you only... I don't know, this is just a full-on tougher grind now that the black belt is much more capable.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Mechlin rolling up on Kraken 2. To say it's really nice to see some team stake here.
A quick tidbit about those dodgy thrust Ds. The way the accuracy formula in the game works makes it so that, if I recall correctly, your accuracy caps the moment your hit percent is at 87, because at that point your accuracy is capped at 255, including a hidden bonus that's always factored in. And a black belt hits that slightly below level 30, so that's the point where you, no matter how much you grind, you're not getting more accuracy against these dodgy enemies, but everything before that does make a world of difference.
Another thing to think about here is that every shard does give you a little bit more experience in gold boosting, and I believe even past the amount that you need to get into Topher. So if you pick up all the shards you need and you see another one sitting there, you can take it to if you need an extra grind.
I'm not sure if it's really worth the time commitment of grabbing that shard, even especially with the fact that they are trapped in this flag set, because a single shard might save you less than one encounter on the ground itself. It's more about the mass than just the single ones. Anyway, while we are seeing that, McLean is now past tier 2. We didn't really comment on the Fiendry fights, though really aside from their specific stats, they are mostly the same between all the seeds. Though a bit more tense than usual here with only one life caster.
Running from the grubs. On to Chaos. Chaos is usually either very scripty or very punchy. But, we'll see what he decides to do here. And again, with Temper at level 8, not a lot to do to buff the melee character, except for just putting in Power Bonk. Meanwhile, Fry Teeth on Tia 2. Listen on to Tia 2.
And Shanigan hot on our tails, but well, not guaranteed to catch up, but pretty close to that, because one of the big perks of the Black Belts is just how quickly you tear through Topher.
Yeah.
Some fights that would usually just be a buff fast for a couple turns will just go down in 1 or 2 punches. More like 2 than 1 given the scaling this time.
I can't remember which of our comms it is, but one of them says Punch Mage go brrr. Right. 6 hits, not too bad. Chaos has a lot of scary skills. Terminated on Mechlin's side. Don't have the exact times in, but we'll call it an hour and 20 seconds. GG's. That was fast.
GG's.
Two is also potentially very scary.
Now, we haven't been commenting on the individual Chaos fights, but here I see that on Frightis and Chaos has just gotten to Cure 4, so that's your green light. It's time to start throwing out your big attacks from newer fighter. I see that Frightis Knight is wielding, I think it's an X-Scal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you can wait out all the early attacks and skills and just buff until that Cure 4, sometimes that's a good enough strategy to just pile through him at the end. But a lot depends on your life casts and ability to heal your ribbons, all those things. GG's to Fry Teeth.
Yep, Frightis claims second place at let's see, 1:46 on stream, but that's never the exact time, and we don't have a racetime.gg page for this, so I don't know the exact time myself.
And Shanigan.
But yeah, that knight was getting some consistent 700 each damage attacks, and now Shanigan's black belt has just shoot through chaos in no time.
Yeah,
and finally, there's
makes a little slap.
And finally, there's just me left in this top 4.
Temper comes out. We see it. Level 8 Temper. What are you swinging here?
That's a Vorpal.
Oh, Vorpal. Okay, good. Hard to... missing a few frames here. Vorpal +2, if I remember correctly.
Chingan very helpfully is pulling out the actual times for all of our runners, so at least all of our top 4. So Macklin is our winner of this SEQ at 1 hour 1 second exactly. Frightaith is second place at 1:1:45. Okay, that was a 1 hour 21 seconds actually. Thanks for the correction, Chengen. Anyway, Chengen was third at 1:1:57, and I got fourth place at 1:03:02. So that's our top 4 finishers. I don't remember if we know the times of the people after that. I know that Crab Cakes, Rubes, and no, I believe Solaris was the one who didn't run this, and who else was there?
This group was absolutely stacked.
Oh yeah, and I recall that it was pretty close getting this fourth place. Like I believe fifth was 1:05 or something.
Sounds about right. I haven't seen the times in a little bit here. Okay, wonderful. So,
yes, Rex was the one who ran the seed, right?
So the 4 of you will go into the bracket on one side, I believe. So Phyllis and you will be facing Mecklin.
That's right. A rematch.
A rematch. Excellent. And who is left on the other side?
On the other side, well, either you mean Frightaith versus Chengen, or you mean the other side of the quarterfinals, where
the quarterfinals, yeah.
Yes. Well, our matchups are Spellzap versus Pickles and Beer, and Phoenix versus Ruber. And I believe we are getting a match from each of those later tonight.
Excellent.
Unless, actually, let me double check if it's not some other. No, it is these 2 matches.
That's right. I think we have. No, we have one at midnight. And what time is the other one?
The other is at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, all times Eastern Standard Times.
Both on this channel.
If you enjoy Final Fantasy Randomizer, please join us on our Discord and look at our wiki. We have all sorts of things here. I know most of the people in chat right now are members of the community, but we can go ahead and get our links up there. Fellas, any thoughts about the flag so far, this run, this particular seed?
Well, I've personally loved this flag set, and it will feel so weird to go back to running flags with shuffled boss scripts. Seeing that those nuke jump scares are not something I'm gonna have an easy time when I get back to those. But anyway, this has been a very fun flag set, and it's very funny to me that we get an early skydive at the very first opportunity, and looking forward to competing in the rest of the bracket.
Yes, no, it's going to be a wonderful. It's been a wonderful tournament so far. I've really enjoyed watching from afar. I don't really like racing myself, but I am a great fan of all of you runners for putting on these great shows for us. Very, very grateful to the dev team in general for making Final Fantasy Randomizer a thing. Many thanks to our trackers today, Razor1 and Dark Moon. Dark Moon also our restreamer. Final thoughts from you, fellas?
Well, thanks, as you said, for Dark Moon and Razor1 for helping this turn into more than just the usual Biki. And very excited as this winter tournament comes to a draw for... is that what you say? No, I don't believe it is, but regardless of what this winter tournament is doing, very excited for what it means, the upcoming Duck Bootcamp. looking forward to seeing how these many newer runners that are in our midst are capable of pulling off after that, and maybe even some new faces that we don't have yet in our community. Really looking forward to that.
Yes. So, with that, this has been the podcast of the Round of 8 Last Chance Qualifiers. I think that will conclude things for today. Again, come see us again at 9 p.m. and midnight for some quarterfinals action. Final Fantasy Randomizer Winter Tournament 2025. Great Chaos Caper. Please take care of yourselves and stay warm if it's cold where you are. Take care. Goodbye.